This is Keisha Butts. We are at the Sports and Learning Complex for the 5th day of early voting. We will have more details later tonight on CTV News.
With a CTV News update. It's the 5th day of early voting in Maryland. Reporter Keisha Butts is at the Sports and Learning Center where she says the turnout is dwindling, but enthusiasm remains high.
While early voting continues in Maryland, dance troupe Music to Your Feet is performing for voters at the Sports and Learning Complex.
We just want to bring a little joy here. People are in line. A lot of people don't have anything to do but stand there and get cold, be chilly. Well, we're here to keep them warm, keep them moving, and to have fun.
Instructor Denise Bryant says this is a way to encourage everyone to vote this year. Bryant's dance troupe has been to several polling locations so far, including the Bowie Gymnasium.
This is Vote for Your Life, and we wanted to get everybody enthusiastic about voting, and if they can have a little fun while they're voting too, it's all the better.
Shamika Price with the county's Association of Realtors is also here to make sure residents cast their ballots.
Voting gives you a voice, it gives you a seat at the table. You're able to kind of advocate for the candidates that have expressed support.
Unlike the first day of early voting, the line isn't wrapped around the Sports and Learning Complex. However, people are still happy to vote in person.
Well, I think it's important that we come out to make sure that, number one, our vote is actually casted correctly. And then secondly, I came out to vote because this is what I do every year.
Being a convicted felon and having my rights back to vote, I wanted to be able to come out and do it, and also to encourage the younger people to come out and vote and let them know how important it is.
Election judges say the process has been good and there haven't been any issues so far. And voters agree that the process has been simple. And what was the wait so far inside? Was there a
It was good. It was good.
Bryant just wants to make sure everyone casts their vote.
We have to have change. We have to have change. Everybody has to vote, and we will have somebody new in that White House.
In Landover, Keisha Butts, CTV News.
With Election Day just 4 days away, county officials are giving Prince Georgians kudos for early voting numbers. Angela Ossobrook says Prince George's has topped the state in early voting turnout. As of yesterday, more than 65,000 people cast ballots. According to the Board of Elections, there are more than 606,000 registered voters in Prince George's.
Please, we urge you, if you requested the mail-in ballot, take it to one of the 42 drop box locations immediately. Please do not wait. Time is of the essence. But if you are one of the individuals who prefers to take it into a traditional post office, please go inside, if at all possible, and have a teller postmark that by November 3rd. And if you have requested a mail-in ballot, and I also should say one other thing about the postmark, it has to be by 5 p.m. If you try to wait and stick your ballot into that mailbox after 5 p.m. on November 3rd, that's where we run into problems, because it has to be there earlier, before 5 o'clock. You can't put it in that box. It will be postmarked the next day and will be invalidated.
And for those who decide to vote in person, Ossobrook says this year, due to the pandemic, voters can cast their ballot at any of the 41 voting centers in the county. As we mentioned yesterday, Montgomery County has 4 important questions on the ballot this election. Questions A and B deal with property taxes and revenue. Nancy Sereng of the League of Women Voters explains questions C and D, which are about representation on the county council.
Right now we have 5 members elected from districts, 4 at large. Some people feel that the county has grown so much that we need more districts, so it would raise it to it would keep the 4 at large, but have 2 more district council members. C and D about county council.
Right.
C adds 2 more council members, but keeps the at large. D keeps 9 council members, but they're all elected by districts.
And I understand that they can actually cancel each other out somehow. How does that work?
I think that may be a decision for the courts to make, although there is some speculation that if they both pass, we'll just stick with the status quo, or if neither passes, we'll stick with the status quo. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's litigated if they both pass by a majority.
Meantime, Prince George's County has 5 questions of funding on the ballot this election. All deal with borrowing money to build or improve county buildings, roads, or other infrastructure. Well, she is the youngest candidate on the ballot for the Prince George's School Board of Education. Now she's seeking your vote for the District 7 seat. Alexis Branch currently works for the U.S. Department of Transportation. She's a graduate of Prince George's County Public Schools. She's also a former pre-K teacher, advocate against discrimination within schools, and has worked internationally. Branch even worked with John Lewis advocating against voter suppression and gerrymandering. Branch's main platform goals are paying teachers higher salaries, ending the school-to-prison pipeline, and requiring students to take classes about African American history.
I took African American history at Gwynn Park High School, and honestly, it changed my entire perspective on who I wanted to be in life. It really drove me into politics. It gave me a more of awareness of who I am as a Black woman. And now I am the youngest Black woman that will be elected to the seat. And I think that it really could do the same thing for a lot of the students in our district.
Branch is running against Kenneth Harris for the District 7 seat. The State Health Department reports 927 new coronavirus cases today. It's the second straight day that cases have exceeded 900. Here in Prince George's, the county continues to lead the state with the highest COVID-19 numbers. Close to 33,000 residents in Prince George's have tested positive for the virus. Currently, 513 Marylanders are hospitalized with the disease. In the last 24 hours, 10 people have died from COVID-19, increasing the state's death count to 3,990. A labor union representing state employees is demanding action from Governor Hogan and state transportation officials. According to AFSCME Council 3, 20 Motor Vehicle Administration employees have tested positive for the virus, including one person who died in Largo. Here's the breakdown of positive cases according to union officials. 10 at the Glen Burnie facility, 5 in Baltimore City, 5 in Largo, and 1 in Hagerstown. The union wants all MVA locations closed for deep cleaning and reopen with reduced capacity and rotating work shifts. Prince George's police are investigating a fatal crash involving a tractor trailer in Capitol Heights last night. The victim has been identified as 49-year-old Ronell James. Officers responded to the 600 block of Hampton Park Boulevard about 8 p.m. for a report of a crash. Authorities say James was driving an SUV when it collided with the tractor trailer. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact police. A Bowie woman is fatally shot in her home. Now her husband is under arrest for allegedly committing the crime. This is 61-year-old Keith May. Police say he confessed to fatally shooting his wife, 67-year-old Brenda May, on Thursday. Officers were called to the 12,000 block of Bacchus Drive about 5:40 in the morning. When they arrived, they found Brenda May suffering from gunshot wounds. She was pronounced dead on the scene. The husband has been charged with first-degree murder. He is being held on a no-bond status. A county student with aspirations of becoming a lawyer is selected to be a part of a fellowship that promotes civic education. This is Madison Allen, a junior at Potomac High School. She joins about 22 students from across the country for the iCivics Equity and Civics Youth Fellowship. Allen says she wants to use the tools she learns from the program to educate her peers about civic engagement.
I think I'm ready to get started to meet other people, meet young people like me, just so I can figure out where we are as a community, as a generation, because I think it's very important that this generation is the generation to begin to implement change. That's also another reason why I decided I wanted to do the internship in the first place.
And so far, Allen has participated in 2 orientation programs through the paid fellowship. Celebrated shortly after Halloween is a time-honored tradition called Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. The theme is death, but the point is to demonstrate love and respect for deceased family members. While the holiday originated in Mexico, it's celebrated all over Latin America with colorful skulls and skeletons.
My great-grandma Coco's father was the greatest musician of all time. Papa, Ernesto de la Cruz.
For those who have seen the movie Coco, you learned about the importance of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. The Latino holiday falls at the same time as Halloween and seems to be a scary and ghoulish celebration. But in reality, it's a tradition with indigenous roots that celebrates a family's ancestors.
This goes way back in the origins of many communities in Mexico, back to indigenous communities. And there are very much a lot of the symbols that, like the skeletons or like calaveras, sugar skulls, that are used specifically during this time, and it has a very specific meaning in Dia de los Muertos compared to Halloween.
In Michoacan, Mexico, the holiday falls at the same time as the return of the monarch butterfly to the region. Every year, millions of the beautiful monarchs arrive into the Sierra Madre Mountains. Many see their arrival as the souls of their deceased ancestors returning to visit their living relatives.
Monarch butterflies, they arrive to Mexico around the same time. And so in a lot of indigenous cultures, it signifies the return of their family, their ancestors coming back home.
This year, the National Museum of the American Indian will hold a special virtual celebration honoring the monarchs and their connection to the holiday.
The museum is hosting a series of virtual programs this weekend. The first one is on Friday at 6 p.m. and it's called Illuminations, and it's focusing on the monarch butterflies. We're going to have like cultural and scientific experts to talk about that. We also will have music, so we'll have a artist talk a little bit about the art making and the significance of mass. On Saturday and Sunday, we'll be having at 2 p.m. our virtual family, and it'll be live through our Facebook and YouTube.
Dia de los Muertos starts on October 31st and ends on Monday, November 2nd. Well, during the last major global pandemic, many festivities were put on hold. Halloween parties and other social functions attracting large numbers of people were discouraged by health authorities during what was known as the Spanish flu of 1918. The influenza killed between 50 to 100 million people worldwide. Now it seems that history is repeating itself as officials across the region are banning haunted houses and recommending against trick-or-treating door-to-door. Instead, they're suggesting alternative ideas like this trick or tractor event held in Laurel this week, where authorities passed out candy from a safe distance. By the way, look up to the sky tomorrow night. On Halloween, there will not only be a full moon this October, but it's the second one this month, and it'll be the first blue moon since 1944. The lunar surface will appear bluish due to smoke and dust particles in the atmosphere. Seems kind of fitting for 2020. Meantime, County Police will provide trick-or-treat suites for local kids tonight. Families can drive by 2 locations this evening to pick up candy and goodies for children from 5:30 to 7:30. You can drive by the Largo Kettering Perrywood Community Center, and that is located at 431 Watkins Park Drive. You can also drive by the District 3 station in Palmer Park. That's at 7600 Barlow Road. Candy and treats for the kids will be available from 6 to 9 p.m. tonight. The Washington football team has a bye this weekend, so FedEx Field will be quiet on Sunday. However, the neighbors to the north, the Baltimore Ravens, will be taking on their arch-rival Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are undefeated with a 6-0 record. Coach John Harbaugh expects a tough contest against the Steelers.
They rushed the quarterback extremely well. I mean, I think they're number 1 in the league in many of the quarterback pressure stats, so you know, what part of the defense do you want to talk about? The whole defense is playing very well. So you take them as a whole. attack them, whatever way you can. We have very good players. We have very good schemes. It's not like we're sitting there with nothing that we don't. It's not like we don't have anything we can go to. We have options, and we'll be trying to execute those as best as we can. That's what it's going to come down to, is execution and blocking, tackling, making the plays. That's what we're working hard to make sure that we're at our best on Sunday.
We can't give a lot of downhill running with this group. Lamar, the running backs, they do a great job of, really kicking in the gear when they get going. So if we have to string it out to the right or left, I think that's a benefit to us. But if they're hitting north-south running, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
This is a defense that brings guys from everywhere. They'll show that all up, they'll drop, they'll show all up from the left, make you slide your protection that way, and then they'll drop and they'll bring guys from the right. We're going to have to be able to keep everybody in at times, and just because you're keeping everybody in still doesn't mean you have all day to throw it.
Yeah, man, I got a couple sacks against Big Ben, but they don't call him Big Ben for no reason. He's just a tough tackle because when you get him in the grass, he still throws the ball. He still finds a way to get the ball out and get it to his playmakers. He's getting the ball out pretty fast this year. We just going to get after him and continue to get after him till the zero's on the clock.
And the Ravens host the Steelers at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Well, let's get a quick check now of our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 36. Saturday, sunny with a high near 51 and a low around 40. Sunday, partly cloudy with a chance of showers. Daytime temps reach a high of 59 and a low near 36. Monday will be sunny and breezy with a high near 49 and a low of 38. And by the way, this weekend, remember to set your clocks back and change the batteries in your smoke alarms. Daylight savings time will end at 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Now for your community calendar. Got stress? Well, here's a way to heal. Propel Production Center is hosting a fall festival and introducing the Remix Rage Smash Room. While staying socially safe, you can release your stress or anger by using tools to smash and break items. Enjoy live performances and local vendors. The event is tomorrow, October 31st from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. at New Image Baptist Church in Temple Hills. Masks are required. For tickets, you can go to Eventbrite and search for Remix Rage Smash Room. Sounds like a lot of fun. Well, that wraps up CTV News for this week. Join us here again on Monday. Stay safe and have a great Halloween weekend.